So fruit sugar, fructose, is processed completely different than glucose. The whole digestive way it's digested is completely different. The impact on blood sugar level from fructose compared to glucose is so different.
We're live, bro. We are live. And dude, I am quite excited to talk about this topic with you, man. Really excited, Mark, to talk about this topic. So we're going to pretend that we weren't talking before this. How you doing, Mark?
I'm doing swell. I'm doing mighty swell.
Mighty swell. We actually speak almost all day. So
yeah,
mighty swell.
That's my my new white dad lingo of the week.
Like, is it? I mean, I guess it's better than Toodaloo, right?
Ask Lori. I said that to her the other day.
You said Toodaloo to Lori?
I did. I also said mighty swell too, I believe.
Oh my God. Anything else? Can we get them out now?
They'll come along.
Mighty swell, Toodaloo. Salutations.
Peachy.
Peachy. Oh, peachy.
Peachy keen.
Peachy keen. Wow.
Scrumdiddlyumptious.
Okay, no. That's going way too far. Scrumdiddlyumptious.
Isn't that from Willy Wonka?
I don't know what that's from, but don't say that.
Okay, I won't.
All right, yo. So, am I allowed to say names of clients who've been helped?
I don't think anyone would mind.
I don't think anyone would mind either. But whatever. Yeah. So recently, one client now is on 25% of his metformin dose after 4 weeks of working with us. Great job, Mark. Okay. Had another client who in the span, really, I think it was about 5 to 6 months this happened, but went from an 8.8 A1C to a 5.4 A1C. For anyone that knows what that means, that is quite diabetic to normal ranges. Had another client who in the first week she started with us went from 140 fasted blood sugar to, it was probably the first 2 weeks when she learned meditation, and then we started giving her Matador and regulating some things. Within the first 2 weeks went to the high 90s. Okay, so 140 to the high 90s. Now she's waking up in the normal ranges, unless it's a day where she's stressed the night before. But her normal is in the normal, so she went from type 2 to normal ranges. Many pre-diabetics who are now waking up in the normal ranges, basically. Who am I missing?
Couple more, but they don't need to be mentioned individually.
Right. Okay. Yes. So basically 100% of the clients that come into our program end up in the normal ranges when it comes to blood sugar. And, oh, dude, another one who lost 32 pounds. In 2 months.
I know. That's why I said it.
There's a few more. Had another client who is now in the normal ranges. Is he type 1? Or no, he's type 2.
Give me the first letter initial.
PC.
Type 2.
Type 2. Yeah, so type 2 who is now in the normal ranges waking up. He lost 32 pounds in 2 months. Now, we don't preach fast weight loss, but what it was this was a case where blood sugar got heavily regulated. And when his insulin levels were when his insulin was working the way it was supposed to, the weight magically fell off, right? And
this is a prime example of fueling performance compared to calorie restriction. It was that was the big issue was under eating. So introducing more carbs and more food was the solution here, not anything else.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into the mechanism. I just want to publicly say, so Mark, he eats humble pie. I'm surprised that he's not 800 pounds because of the amount of humble pie he eats. I love having a partner with so much humility. Just truly loves his craft. But he did say something to me that was a little bit edgy a few days ago. And what he said to me, he said, "I don't think there's a better coach in the world right now that can help people with blood sugar issues." And so I was so excited when he said that. I was like, let's go. We got the edge to him. And I also want to say that I am quite interested in blood sugar. And so with that said, Mark, let's talk about the formula.
All right. So how do you want to tackle this? Want to break the common myths when it comes to
Let's start with that.
blood sugar? Okay. So I'll start with my the one that triggers me the most. Mrs. he or she, since you are now diabetic or within diabetic ranges, I strongly recommend that you no longer eat fruit or you limit your fruit drastically because fruit has sugar in it and it's bad for your blood sugar.
Ooh.
So,
Ooh.
so let's address that into several different pieces. So fruit sugar, fructose, is processed completely different than glucose. The whole the way it's digested is completely different. The impact on blood sugar level from fructose compared to glucose is so different. Fructose has a minimal impact on blood sugar level in comparison to glucose. So, like, for example, let's say you have a slice of bread and you have an orange, and so they both have 22 carbohydrates. The orange, even though it has 22 grams of sugar, will have a minimal impact to your blood sugar level compared to that slice of Wonder Bread. But they both have the same amount of carbs, Mark, right? Yeah. Is the glycemic index of the orange slightly higher? Yes, it is, Mark. But fructose and glucose were completely different. Fructose also, after it's digested, is going to skeletal muscle and is stored as ATP, right? And glycogen, and then we use as ATP.
Right.
And then fructose gets actually channeled to the liver and gets stored as glycogen in our liver, and our body uses this for many regular processes to sustain in homeostatic position. So like regulating body temperature, your heart rhythm, you sleeping, all these things, your body's using glycogen from our liver for those processes.
Right. So I guess then to break it down to a core is it's not just whether it's how high on the glycemic index it is or not, but it's also the type of sugar that it actually is, which exactly. is undervalued completely.
Totally, because if you're putting table sugar and fruit sugar in the same category, you're completely doing everything wrong to begin with.
Right. Okay, very good. Next myth. White rice is bad. Let's go with that one.
Yeah. Let's go with white rice and white potatoes, and every white carbohydrate is bad.
White people are great.
Yep. So let's start with that. So if we look at the glycemic index of brown rice or white rice, we're talking a 5 to 6 point difference. Now, this is a scale that ranges from almost 0 to in the hundreds. So a small little 5 to 6 point difference makes a minimal impact on blood sugar levels, to the point that if you took your blood sugar 2 hours after eating a white rice to brown rice meal, I guarantee you would have trouble figuring out the difference. Now, it's not just what that carb is, it's what that carb is paired with is what affects the whole entire meal. Now, if you just ate a bowl of white rice by itself, then yeah, that would not be great for your blood sugar at all. But same exact thing to be said if you ate a bowl of brown rice directly by itself. Now, the wonderful thing about food pairing is that whatever you eat with that food affects the glycemic index of that whole entire meal. So now we're thinking of dietary fiber. Am I eating vegetables with this meal? Is the fiber in the vegetables I'm eating making this meal more beneficial for me? Is the fiber from the vegetable I'm eating going to help lower the glycemic index of this meal? Now, cool, I picked a vegetable that has a large amount of insoluble fiber in it. So freaking awesome. Now, what else am I going to eat with this meal? Because I'm not going to eat a meal of just, say, rice and broccoli, right? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to have a protein with this meal. The wonderful thing about protein is proteins also help lower the glycemic index of carbohydrates as well. So pairing those things together will bring in the whole glycemic index of that meal. So yes, probably eating a bowl of white rice by itself is not the best for blood sugar, but pairing that with a whole entire meal of things that work synergistically together to lower the glycemic index of that meal is beneficial.
Right. Protein and fiber.
Yep.
But why would someone choose white rice over brown rice? I don't.
Digestibility. Most of you guys in our program, the first 2 weeks, hate me. Not because I took away so much food, because you're having such a hard time getting the food in to begin with. Comment below, please, if you're in our program and the first few weeks of the program, you are forcing food down. Because I can't name a single person when they started our program was like, Mark, this isn't a lot of food.
Right.
And it's going to feel like a lot more food if you're wasting so much time digesting the food. You're not going to be hungry by the time the next meal rolls around.
Right.
And as you all know in our program, we're not calorie restricting like crazy at all.
Oh, no.
We're eating whole food diets. We're fueling our performance.
Most people are eating more food than they started with.
Yeah.
Like a large, I think it's almost everyone. I literally think it's almost everyone.
Yeah. From a quantity perspective, maybe not a caloric perspective.
Right.
But from a quantity perspective, 100%.
Yes, right. At least in terms of volume, right? Then that's because you're using high quality whole foods, but right.
Yeah. But like the other thing is this too, like energy, right? So like, let's say you're having a pretty decent sized meal at lunch. You're already pairing it with a protein and a vegetable. But you decided to use something like brown rice compared to white rice. Your body is going to use a lot more energy trying to break down that meal because that meal is slightly harder to digest because it is brown rice compared to white rice. The one wonderful thing about white rice is it's very easy to digest. So less energy is being used on the digestion process of that food. So you're not going to get that crazy afternoon crash where you feel like garbage at 2 o'clock and you're going to sleeping at your desk.
But Mark, my doctor said so, and it's also higher on the glycemic index scale. Only 6 points. Yeah, but my doctor said so.
If I had, every
diabetic
that come through our program was beyond shocked that we've given them fruit, and literally has told me on the meal planning phone call, "Are you sure?" Yes,
yeah, I wrote that.
100% sure.
Okay, but then what about potatoes? Tell me about potatoes, Mark.
So I don't understand why people demonize white potatoes so much, especially when we look at how high they range on the satiation index, which is the index of how foods are rated by how full they make you feel. So yes, are white potatoes a simple carbohydrate? Yes, they are. Are they going to wreak havoc on your blood sugar if you eat them by themselves? 100%. But we're not going to ever eat them just by themselves. And one of the worst ways to probably pair that food is by dipping in oil and frying it. So we're definitely not eating it that way either.
No,
but if we're eating regular white potatoes paired with a meal, having a nice protein, and we're having a vegetable, there's nothing wrong having that white potato. Especially white potatoes do have fiber. It's not as high as sweet potatoes, but they do contain fiber.
Hey, Mark, next thing. My doctor said I need to do cardio to speed up metabolism.
So yeah, I guess to an extent we can say yes. Fasted cardio in the morning is great for lowering high fasted glucose levels. That's something that we do have. But honestly, if you're doing any type of exercise throughout the day and putting on more lean muscle and you're training with intent and intensity, that's still going to lower regardless. Doing cardio is great for so many reasons. Cardiovascular health for your number one reason because you only have one heart. But when it comes from a metabolic perspective, you putting on more muscle tissue is the best thing that you could do. Because you just burning through glucose is not going to make you process glucose quicker or better.
Yes. Okay, but how about this? I'm going to work out 16 times per week and sleep 4 hours per day so that I can be fitter and then my blood sugar can go down.
Sounds like a recipe to make your body fight against you. So like the big thing about that is like working smart is super important when you have blood sugar issues. Because the more stressed you are about the situation, the more you're fighting against your body. Because as cortisol is heightened, your body is just releasing more and more glucose. Then your pancreas goes like, hey, what's going on? And needs to release a shit ton of insulin to try to bring that down. Then when that happens, your body's like, oh my God, blood sugar is low. I guess what? Cortisol is going right back up, and so is blood sugar. And then pancreas has to do this whole process over and over and over again. And you're fighting an uphill battle. So if you're trying to fix blood sugar or lose weight or any of those things, it's an uphill battle the whole entire way if you're trying to overtrain and undersleep.
Right. If cortisol's too high. You know what the craziest thing to me is too, Mark? Like when I was really reading into it and studying into it, your body, where does your body get the sugar from? From the muscles and from the liver, right? And so now you have no capacity to actually hold on to any muscle or build any muscle, right? Yeah. And so now your BMR gets even lower. until you're tapped out of the sugar, right? And then this was when I was doing some more reading. I was like, oh shit. And then the next source of energy that it gets to is fat from all over your body. So you would think this is a good thing, but because you don't need to use it, it gets stored right in your gut. And what happens when you have a big gut? Even more insulin resistance, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm big on the anti-cortisol train lately. Huge on it.
Well, dude, it has to be one of the things you focus on when we're talking about blood sugar. Because there's so many people who start our program and doing the correct things, and they get the initial return from the foods, the training, and then their stress comes back.
Right.
And you immediately see the same blood sugar issue start to return itself. Maybe not weight gain,
right,
but the fasted glucose is going up every single day.
Right.
And we're like, okay, what's going on in your life? Are we sleeping less? Is work getting to you? Are you meditating? What's going on in your life that's causing this to happen?
Right.
It's I got a promotion, or I have a presentation I have to do, or my boss is breathing down my neck, so I'm working on the project. It's typically something like that.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So let's like sum this up then. Let's recap this. So we're talking carbohydrate source, right?
Yeah.
Carbohydrate pairing, pairing it with fiber, pairing it with protein, right? It doesn't necessarily matter how much on the GI scale it is. Well, it does, but we also want to consider the type of sugar it is, right? De-stress.
Yeah.
Don't overtrain. Go ahead.
I think we left one out.
What's that?
What's that biggest pet peeve with carbs? Processed carbs.
Right. Whole foods.
Exactly. So and that's the other thing. So you definitely, especially if you have a blood sugar issue, processed carbs should probably be one of the last things on your list that you ingest. Just because since they already are highly refined, they digest super, super quick, which means that they turn into glucose super, super quick,
right? Which
means blood sugar goes up super, super quick.
Right.
So even obviously ranked higher on the glycemic index chart, but I don't want anyone to possibly use that as an analogy to say, oh, pineapple and this are the same thing, when one's a refined carbohydrate and one's a whole food that has fructose and natural occurring fiber in it.
Right. Right. So it's not necessarily the GI scale. It's the fact that it's high on the GI scale and it's refined.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a double-edged sword, or the double whammy.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. I think that ideologically, that's why we have to really be careful to say things are good or bad.
Yeah, I agree.
Make sure that we nuance things. I always talk about this. Health and fitness is very nuanced. I don't care what marketing shit you see. I don't care how someone tries to oversimplify something to make it more easily digestible. No pun intended. But at the end of the day, it's nuanced. There's complexities to it, right?
Yeah. Well, that's my thing, is that you can't demonize certain things based on certain categories because you want to make it simple for people. Right. Making things simple, there's no way to simplify science like this. You can't.
Right.
You either have to accept that you know something or accept that you don't know something. There's no really simple way around it.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? You want to simplify it as much as possible, but not simpler. So the great Albert Einstein said, right? Mm-hmm. You can't make something that has a certain level of complexity any simpler if it takes the integrity away from that piece of knowledge, right? So boom. So yeah, I would like to say, for the record, in terms of percentages, Mark, my amazing coach, you're not finding somebody better when it comes to working on blood sugar, right? And he's getting better and better each day too. So I don't know, fam.
I'm batting 1,000 right now. No one's come through a program with blood sugar issues that's left with them.
Love it. Amazing. Anyway, guys, if you did watch this live, give me a hashtag LIVE live. If you watch this on the replay, give me a hashtag replay. If you feel like saying how you doing, right? How you doing in the comments. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. If anyone has any questions on this topic or anything fitness related, please let me or Mark know. Shoot us a message, leave them in the comments. We'll be sure to answer. And if you want to schedule a 20-minute call with myself or someone on my team, please shoot me a message or leave a comment below, and we will get you scheduled so that you can speed up your metabolism, improve your health, improve your energy, and keep the fat off while building lean muscle tissue. All right, team. So anyway, I love y'all. Mark, appreciate you.
Toodaloo.
Goodbye, bro. Goodbye. Are you tired
of trying to figure out how to lose weight and keep it off. And maybe you've tried every fad diet, worked with a trainer, did this program, that program, and you haven't gotten anywhere. Well, one, I feel for you. And two, the good news is I've worked with thousands of people over the course of the past decade in helping them speed up their metabolism so that they can lose weight, keep it off, and have a proven system they can take with themselves for the rest of their life. So what I want you to do is DM me the word metabolism, and someone on my team will reach out to you and schedule a call where you can come up with a custom plan for you, your life, your goals, and your schedule. All right, there's gonna be no selling on this call. All we're gonna do is we're gonna figure out all the factors that affect you, help you speed up your metabolism, and get you on the path. So whenever you're ready, DM me the word metabolism, and we will reach out.